Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. Today we're not working with wood, we're working with steel. And this is going to be part one of my log hauling trailer. It's an ATV log hauler, and this is day one. And I basically got the main frame built today, and let me show you how I did it. Day one, the first thing I do is lay out the tires, and I'm using some 22 by 11 by 8 inch tires, and I'm going to have an 8-inch gap in between the tires. So right here I use this is a brand new Evolution chop saw that I'm reviewing, and I'm real happy with it so far. I'm using 2 by 2 by 1/8 inch square tubing, mild steel, and right here I'm going to cut that's the first chop with the Evolution saw, and it really cut nice. Right here I'm going to make the bottom of the frame, and basically they're going to be the width of the bottom is going to be 36 inches. I didn't want it too wide because I'm going to taper out some arms for holding logs, and I don't want to hold too many logs because I don't want the weight to be too big. But my plan was to make the very bottom 36 inches and then weld all that together. And then I was going to make removable outriggers. So right here you can see I got one 36-inch piece, and then I have 4 pieces that are I believe 17, yeah, which will make all three pieces 36 inches wide with a 2-inch square center part of the frame. The chop saw is really nice. Every time I use it, I'm really happy to use it. It doesn't really throw out a whole bunch of stuff. It keeps it right there on the saw. No sparks flying out. Right there you can see I've got the 36-inch wide pieces ready to get welded. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a 6-inch riser on each end of these, and that'll be the sleeve that I put the next piece in for the little outriggers that'll hold all the logs on the trailer. And I thought that was a good idea. I've looked at a few pictures and kind of came up with my own idea of what I think it should look like. And that just seemed like a good idea, because my idea is that I'll pull these outriggers off, and then I'll basically slide in a removable little box on the top that I can use it for a hunting trailer to go get, just to go get anything, or you know what I mean? So right here, I've got all the pieces for the bottom frame of the trailer, and I've got a Hobart wire feed welder. That's a Makita grinder with just a sandpaper. I like the sandpaper blades better than it just seems like they work a little better. So right here, I'm cleaning off all the metal before I weld it. I've always found that helps out a lot. If you have a clean surface to weld to, your welds turn out a lot better. So right here I'm just going to grind all the pieces and get them all ready to weld, so I can just weld everything at one time. And this was actually this is the first day, and I basically have a 10-foot 2x2 runner going down the middle. I've got that piece right there, which is a 36-inch wide piece. And then I cut 4 of these smaller pieces, which are 6-inch for the ends. And I'm using this Rockwell jaw horse to basically, I welded all these pieces together inside this jaw horse, and that made it a lot easier to weld, and I didn't have to worry about things moving around. And I was really happy with that. That tool is if you don't have one of those in your shop, get one. For the money, they're really a nice tool. And right here, of course, I'm just going to weld all 4 sides of this first piece and try to do a nice job welding it. I'm not planning on, I'm going to powder coat this whole frame, but I'm not planning on grinding the welds. I might clean them up a little bit as far as any, like, little wires off them or anything, but I'm planning on showing the welds in the powder coating. So in the past, I've done some stuff where I grinded them all smooth and stuff, but I don't see the point of that. If you do a good job welding, there's nothing wrong with showing your weld. So I just keep going. I got 6 of these pieces to weld all 4 sides. That's kind of the first step. And it's nice actually welding up off the ground. When I go to weld these on the bottom frame, I end up, I'm down on the ground, and I don't like that as much. But right here, it's pretty fun. I think in the future, I'm actually gonna, my log cabin, this particular section, I have a wood shop down below, but this section is the garage, and I don't like to do welding inside the wood shop down there. So I usually weld up here. But I think in the future, I'm going to actually drywall this garage. If I keep using it for welding, I'm going to drywall it with 5/8 drywall just for, give it at least some kind of fire rating up there. And I do have a fire extinguisher close by, so, but for the most part, I'm doing it in the middle of the garage, and I try to be safe as possible. So I've got all those pieces, those 5 pieces welded, and now I'm gonna, what I do is I mark this piece, and I grind where I'm gonna weld all these together. And I double check the center of this piece. Day 1's going pretty good. This is part 1, day 1. I've only been working on it for probably, I don't know, maybe a couple hours at the most. And I've almost got the bottom frame done. So this is the first piece. This is the rear of the log trailer, the ATV log trailer. That's the rear. And here I kind of set it down, double check the square. Next up, I lay out the wheels. I don't want, just in case, I want the tires to actually, the tires are going to extend past these bars, but I don't want the inside. I want to have the tire kind of in the middle of these so that this next bar that I put in is actually going to be in the middle of the tire spread. That way it kind of protects the tires from the logs hitting them. And right here I clean the spots off where I'm going to weld all these next 4 brackets. Pretty simple stuff, fun to do. Double check, make sure they're all nice and straight. It's pretty important to double check your stuff as you're welding it too, because what happens is the heat from the welding will pull the metal towards you, and that's why you want to always tack both sides pretty good and before you do a full bead on it. And I believe me, I've made plenty of mistakes where I welded a full bead and it pulled the metal out of square, and that's not fun. Anyway, right here I got all 4 pieces. Well, there's 5 pieces, but I got them all tacked on pretty good, and now I'm fully welding all 4 sides of these pieces. I'm going to put some additional little supports in there, but right here is that's pretty much what I'm doing for day 1. Basically going to fully weld this part of the trailer. I'm hoping that this 2x2 square tubing, 1/8 inch thick, and there it is. That's part 1, day 1. Thanks for watching part 1 of Outlaw Woodworking. We will see you tomorrow when we start part 2. We're going to be building the walking axles, and maybe we'll even get to a little bit more of the frame. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you next time. Later.